mean? Like, so that's how
it's pouring out of you. I love that. You can feel it. Like, you can tell this dude loves it. I love that, bro.
So, you know, one day I'm hosting an event, and some of the DJs would hate when I do this, but I would like get on their controller and I turn the fader down myself, and I turned the fader down and I said, if I did an R&B only event, would y'all come? Like, would y'all, you know, because this is like when the R&B is ringing off at 1:30 a.m. in the morning. This is so we are at our 10-year anniversary in 2025. This is in about this has got to be 2013, 2014. When I'm doing the hip hop parties.
That's amazing that 10 years of building. People we don't talk enough about that. Everybody wants to get rich overnight.
Yeah, you used to go to the colors parties back in the day. So, you know, that was the inkling of like what was being built. And, you know, and the crowd went crazy and they said, yeah, we come, Jabari. And so like in a few weeks, I just booked a 100-person venue and I called it R&B Only tonight. Like, and I gave people a 1-day warning. I just said like, tonight we're doing R&B Only, this place. And it filled up. And then I was like, all right, cool. Maybe I should do another one. Yeah. And then I just did it again. And then like I booked a bigger venue. And then soon the venues for R&B Only were at the same size of the venue for my colors events, the hip hop stuff. And I was like, all right, something might have to give.
I'm gonna say, are you like, because this is when you're in your own little bubble where you're like, am I gonna have to switch?
Yeah, exactly.
To that?
Because I was like,
maker?
I was like, this is what's not necessarily defining me.
Yes.
But you know, I was stuffing $5,000 into a backpack after every show. You know what I mean? After every of the hip hop ones, and I didn't. And this wasn't even like my main thing. I was between this. I was like kind of in and out of. I think I was transitioning from working at Capitol Records, and I was a content creator. So I was really early on interviewing people.
Got you.
And I interviewed like Nicki Minaj early, Justin Bieber, Wiz Khalifa, did a documentary on Macklemore and Ryan Lewis. Yes. And I was trying to be like the next TerrenceJ from 106. You know what I mean? Like I was trying to be like an AJ Calloway, but I came in the game at a time when the way people were consuming media was completely changing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Speak on that a little bit. Like how was then compared to now?
Well, first YouTube had come out, and YouTube took a while to become the YouTube that we all know it is today, right? Yeah. So I was doing stuff like putting long form content on YouTube, but like it was like YouTube said, okay, now videos can be up to an hour. And I was like, oh shit, they could be up to an hour? I'm gonna put an hour, long thing up there. Or I'm gonna put like a 30-minute documentary up there. Or I'm gonna put whatever up there. And just because you could do it, but like people were still watching YouTube for like 2-minute videos, and
their attention span was going down as they were expanding, and it left everybody confused.
Exactly,
like, didn't know what to do.
So at this point, and then linear TV was shifting. So it was like, my dream when I graduated Howard was, like I said, to be on 106 in Park.
Yep.
And I was in the audition process and I was getting really far. And I remember, they were telling me, the executives at BT were like, you might be the one, you know what I mean? But what ended up happening was they gave it to Bow Wow because he had a lot more fame than me.
Yeah.
And, I mean, it could have been other reasons, but that's just what I thought the reason was. Right? So I'm like, this guy. I was saying,
I know that's what it is.
I know that's what it is.
Ruin everything.
Yeah. Now,
like it be as soon as it's something for a regular person, and the regular people like it, and now it's like, I think I could be in there. I'm not Terrence. I'm not AJ. I could be that. And then here come a celebrity. Boom.
Got it.
And then there goes the show.
Yep. And exactly. Yeah. He was the last host. I think. And so, but I always knew that the internet and this like where people are going is digital. Like I thought in my head, like, I don't know if we're going to be watching TV in the same way that we are, because I'm looking at myself as like a recent graduate, as a consumer. I'm just like, I'm not sitting here like, I'm not rushing to see what's on, what top 10 videos are coming on. I'm watching my videos. At a certain time, I'm watching my videos on YouTube. Yeah. So,
and digital allowed you to watch it whenever you wanted to. So now you're on your own schedule.
Exactly. So I just thought that type of viewing was going to come in all other forms of media. But to be honest, I feel like I was just a little too early. And so, you know, where I was putting my stuff out.
Early?
Yes.
Yeah, it was early, man. And you can go, you know, if you want to just go YouTube like Jabari Nicki Minaj or Jabari Justin Bieber.
Oh,
and
wow.
you'll see like videos with millions of views with me and these folks. But I was a baby when I was putting this stuff on YouTube, man. I was in my early 20s.
You know, if you remaster it, like re-put it out, it'll probably have a whole different traction now.
It's true, yeah. Maybe
No, seriously.
might. Yeah.
I wanted to ask you something. I've been in the music business 20 years. You don't come off. Everybody has a personality. I wish people at home knew this. Like A&Rs move like A&Rs.
yeah. For sure.
Promo guys.
You know who they are.
Promo guys. I'm gonna shout out to
yeah.
Benny Pugh really quick. Benny Pugh called me, and I had two promo guys one Benny Pugh and a guy I interned for. They both called me around the same time, and I was busy, and I had to call them both back. On God, I called them both back. And you know, Benny Pugh was my OG. Paris Johnson was I interned under him. Like, I'm gonna always be respectful to whoever was in front of me. So I said to both of them the same thing. I said, hey man, my apologies for taking so long. They both stopped me and said, hey, nigga, I'm a promo guy. I'm gonna get you on the phone. That's what we do. So I say that, I'm saying how to say that. Promo guys come off promo guys. You know, digital guys are digital guys. Promoters are promoters. You don't give me promoter vibes. You get, because let me tell you why I say that respectfully. You're friendly.
Oh,
and most
you,
promoters, it gotta have a dryness, a seriousness, because as much as you're paying me to have fun, nigga, this money you're paying me is my motherfucking business. So, so I'm asking you, like, what do you see yourself as? Like, what's your superpower within the promo sphere, and how did you? I mean, dog, there's millions of promoters in the country throwing stuff. How are you able to scale? Because to me, that is your superpower. I don't know what it is. That's why I'm asking curiously. How are you able to scale, unlike most people who do the same thing?
Well, I would definitely, being a promoting is an element, an aspect of what I do in the business, but I never would ever consider myself a promoter for sure. And what I would consider myself is a creator, entrepreneur, artist. You know, like there are all these elements of things that I do because I'm a creative individual and I'm a creative entrepreneur. So while a lot of promoters like they know how to turn one into two, right? They're like, okay, I feel like people in the event space and, you know, nightlife, if you want to call it, they're like hitting licks. You know what I mean?
Yes, like, that's what I'm saying. You come up like you just happy that it's 5,000 people in the room to sing a song with you. That's what matters to you more than anything.
No doubt about it, man. And I think my whole approach and model is very, very different, right? So like when we do shows, right? And this has been from day one how I built the business. I'm not being paid to have my event so like a promoter is like, okay, I'll pay you this if you can bring this many people in. Yeah. That's never been the model. My model has always been like, I pay the venue. I pay the venue to rent the space. I rent it out completely. I assume all of the risk. Yep. And then I take the lion's share of the profit when there is. But I also, you know, because I'm assuming the risk, if the event doesn't do well, I also have, you know, really lost a lot of money on a lot of events because I've taken the risk. But because the company, like we put up the capital to rent the spaces and the rooms, I think that, and it's not even just that. It's like we also control the ticketing, the data. We've built like all types of flows and automations. We have like an incredible tech stack. Like I have people on my staff that are solely like they're data analysts or automation experts, or you know what I mean? Like I just, the things that I apply in business to the like live event and touring world are things that like, that are heavily tech focused. Yeah. You know what I mean? And I think that like that's how I've been able to scale.
To scale. It goes back to what you said earlier.